Roberto De Zerbi is doing a fantastic job currently at Brighton. They're 7th in the Premier League, and according to Fabrizio Romano, they're about to sign one of the most talented fullbacks in the world, Valentin Barco from Boca Juniors. And this is a perfect moment for us to take Brighton over and try to make them the best team in the world, by of course winning the Premier League. And the biggest aim of this rebuild is gonna be for us to win the Champions League with Brighton. If you enjoyed this type of videos, leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. But now let's begin the review. This is how the Brighton squad is looking, and they do have some amazing young players in João Pedro and of course even Ferguson, one of the most wanted young strikers in the world of football. But they do also have some superstar, which is of course Mitoma, and they do have one player that is currently on loan at the club, and this of course Ansu Fati. And our main task for the first season is gonna be to make Ansu Fati a permanent move to Brighton, and for that we receive around 43 million. But before we purchase Ansu Fati, we needed to sign Pavlovic from Red Bull Salzburg. He is heavily linked with a move to Brighton, and that's why we made that a move. And now with the rest of the money we went big and signed Ansu Fati. We're gonna try to make Ansu Fati one of the best players in the world, and I really hope that he is not gonna disappoint us. And now when we settle our team, it's time to choose a tactical vision, and we went with the Gegen pressing. This is gonna fit perfectly the De Zerbi style of play, and here all of the development coaches that we hired, and I really hope that these guys are gonna boost the performance of our players. Before we start with the Premier League season, we need to change the position of Mitoma and of course Ansu Fati, and look what happened. Mitoma went to 83 overall and Ansu Fati to 79. Now we're ready to begin our journey in the Premier League. We started really well versus Luton Town, but then Sasha Kalajic scored the opening goal in the game versus Wolves, and this was enough for them to defeat us. And now after 4 games we're 10th in the Premier League with only 6 points, and our next game is gonna be versus Manchester United, and this can be huge for our first season of this rebuild. In the meantime, we received an offer for Pervis Estupiñán from Arsenal, and of course we accepted it, and this is a perfect opportunity for Valentin Barco to show why he is one of the most talented fullbacks in the world football. But Rasmus Højlund had a different opinion about that. He scored the first goal in that game, and then after that, poor performance from our goalkeeper led to a second goal for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford scored that game, but this was not enough for them, because after that Bruno Fernandes scored a third goal in that game, and we got destroyed by Manchester United. And after 7 games we're 13 in the Premier League with only 8 points. What a bad start of this rebuild. And our next game is gonna be versus Liverpool at our home stadium. We need to stop Mohamed Salah. The game started really well for us. Gravenberch received a straight red card, but after that Mo Salah showed Valentin Barco that he does have still a lot of things to learn about defending. What a goal Salah scored versus us, and shortly after that Liverpool scored another goal in that game. What a bad start of this rebuild. Somehow we managed to bring 1 goal back late in that game, but this was not enough for us to get anything from this game. Very poor performance. Our next game in the Premier League is going versus Fulham, and we started the game on the best possible way. What a goal from Ivan Ferguson, but then after that we received a penalty, and of course our goalkeeper couldn't manage to save that penalty. Could that be another bad result in this first season? No, it couldn't. Ansu Fati scores the second goal in that game, and this is gonna be a winning goal. That's why we paid so much money for you, Ansu Fati. What a player we do have in our lineup. Somehow after 23 games we do have 34 points, and we're 9th in the Premier League, and we're not that far away from the 7th West Ham, which is gonna be an amazing accomplishment if we can manage to reach that place. Sadly we finished 3rd in our Europa League group, and now we're in the Conference League, but for that we're gonna think a little bit later. Now it's time for the game versus Spurs, and this game can be crucial in the first season. But in that game, there was only one team that was performing, and this was, of course, Spurs. What a 2 goals they managed to score versus us, and this will probably end our ambitions to finish in the 7th or in the 8th place of the Premier League. But look at us in the Conference League. We reached the final, and there we're gonna face Fenerbahce, and this is our first chance to win a major trophy with Brighton already in the first season. Wow, I really hope you enjoy so far this review. Of course, if so, leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. But now let's see where we're standing in the Premier League. And we finished 11th with 51 points, 28 points less than the 4th Manchester United. This is going to be a long rebuild, and this is how the team is looking. The players are progressing really well, but they still need time to fulfill their potential. Mitoma is the top goal scorer with 19 goals. Look at also João Pedro, 16 goals, 7 assists. Also not a bad performance from Ivan Ferguson, 15 goals in his first season as a starting striker for our team. It's not a bad one. Ansu Fati also not a bad season, but now the biggest aim for the first season is gonna be the Conference League final versus Fenerbahce. So let's see what we can do versus them. We received a chance to open up this game, but Livakovic saved the shot from Ansu Fati, and we received the corner, and look what happened. Our captain Luis Dunk scored the first goal in that game. What a moment for our captain. But shortly after that, Fenerbahce managed to equalize, and now we need to score more goals if we want to lift this trophy. And this is exactly what we did. We gave the ball to the Hood, and he scored the second goal in that game, and this was enough for us to win the Conference League versus Fenerbahce. What an amazing ending of the first season with Brighton. Now for the second one, we're aiming for the better performance in the Premier League. We're starting the second season with a sale of the player that gave us the Conference League, the Hood, but Manchester United offered a good money for him, and of course we accepted that deal. And after that, we sold also Dennis Undav to West Ham, and now look at our budget, over 100 million, and we need to improve our midfield. This is currently our weakest spot, and we need some superstar in that midfield. And what a better superstar than another Barcelona player that we can add to this Brighton squad, and this is gonna be Pablo Gavi. He was currently at Newcastle, and we went and brought him to Brighton. Now he's gonna be a teammate with Ansu Fati, and on that right side, both of them are gonna destroy our opponents. With the rest of our budget, we needed to improve the CDM position, and we went and signed an Italian CDM called Samuele Ricci. We gave 24 million plus one of our CDMs, but this is really an amazing move. Ricci does have so much potential, and I really hope that him and Pablo Gavi are gonna rock our midfield. And we didn't need to wait that long for the first assist of Pablo Gavi. What a cross to his former teammate Ansu Fati, and this was enough for us to win versus Sheffield United. Brilliant start of the Premier League season. Our next game is going versus Manchester United, and we didn't need to wait that long for the first goal of Pablo Gavi, and what a moment to score it versus Manchester United. Wow, what a player we signed to Brighton. But then after that, Valentin Barco was the last man that made this tackle, and he received a red card, and this gave so much power to Manchester United. They managed to turn this game completely with one man more than us, and we lost the game versus Manchester United. What an amazing start of this game, but what a bitter ending. Come on boys, we're better than that. In the meantime, the team is developing really well, and Ansu Fati is the top goal scorer with 8 goals, but now it's the biggest test so far in this rebuild, the game versus Manchester City, and this game can be a turning point in our second season. But in the 54th minute, Domenico Berardi scored one of the goals of the Premier League season, but we didn't give up at all. Even Ferguson showed why he's one of the most wanted strikers in the world of football. What a goal to equalize in that game, and very late in the game he managed to score another goal, and we managed completely completely to turn the game versus Manchester City. What a boost for our confidence this is going to be. And after 24 games, we're second in the Premier League. Wow, we do have 54 points already. Last season, we had only 51 after 38 games. What a progression, man. This is for sure thanks to Pablo, Gavi, and Samuel Ricci. And our next game is going versus Arsenal. And they showed us that we're not ready to be in the top 4. What a performance from Arsenal. They destroyed us, guys. They scored 3 goals versus us. And this completely shut out our chances of finishing in the top 4, in my opinion. And after 38 games, we finished 5th in the Premier League with 1 point less than the 4th Arsenal. And we're gonna miss the Champions League football next season. Or are we gonna miss it? We're in the final of the Europa League. And if we beat AC Milan, we're still gonna have Champions League football next season. Come on, boys. We deserve that. We eliminate Bayern Munich 6-3 on aggregate in the round of 16. Wow, how we managed to do that? But with these boys, it's not a surprise that we finished 5th and we reached the Europa League final. Ansu Fati is now 90 overall. He is the highest overall player in our team and also the top goal scorer of this season. What a season of the young Spanish guy. But for the next season, we need to think about our future. Our captain Luis Dunk is going down and down in the overall, and he's getting older, man. This is normal. So for the next season, we're gonna think about improving the center back position, and maybe we need to change our defense a little bit earlier. Look what happened in the Europa League final. AC Milan destroyed us and we made such silly mistakes in our defense, and also our goalkeeper, man, he's just not that good enough. And for the next season, we're definitely going for a new one, because with this goalkeeper we cannot win big trophies, and that's why AC Milan leave the Europa League and we're gonna miss a Champions League football next year. By the beginning of the 3rd season, we received over 140 million, and we also decided to sell our goalkeeper, and somehow Red Bull Leipzig gave us over 50 million for this bad goalkeeper. Why Red Bull Leipzig? But of course we're taking that, and now we do have 200 million to improve the goalkeeper and the center back position, and we went big on the both position. First, we signed Diogo Costa from Porto as our new #1 goalkeeper, and then AC Milan destroyed us in the Europa League final, and we did have such a difficult time versus Tomori, and that's why we decided to sign him at Brighton. What an amazing 2 moves we managed to make by the beginning of the 3rd season, and now with Diogo Costa and Tomori, we stabilize our defense. The other parts of the team are doing sensational good job, so I do believe that with this team we should be the favorites to win the Premier League. And we started amazingly. Pablo Gavi gave us the win versus Crystal Palace, and then Mitoma scored versus Manchester United, and we finally managed to beat Manchester United. And after 11 games, we're second, but we do have played 1 game less than the first Chelsea, and our next game is going versus Liverpool at Anfield, and this game can be a turning point in our 3rd season. So let's go, boys, let's defeat Liverpool. And we not only defeat them, in under 30 minutes we destroyed them. Mitoma, Ansu Fati, and of course even Ferguson scored the goals. Wow, what a performance at Anfield versus Liverpool. I'm telling you guys, this team is ready to win the Premier League. And after 17 games, we're showing the world that we're ready to win it. But the biggest test so far this season is gonna be the game versus Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They're currently second, and if we beat them, we're turning into the top favorites to win it. And like against Liverpool, we started this game on the best possible way. What a goal from our CDM, Samuel Ricci. Well spent money for him. And then after that, Joao Pedro scored one of the goals of this rebuild. What a strike versus the second in the Premier League. And from this long distance, Wow, respect Joao Pedro. And then after that, Gavi gave another assist, this time to our newest signing, Tomori. And we destroyed Chelsea. We beat them 3-0 at Stamford Bridge. Wow, and after 32 games, we're again second somehow, but we played 2 games less than the first, Liverpool, and our next game is going to be versus Manchester City. Now here, if we win, we're winning the Premier League, I'm telling you that. And we started amazingly. What a cross from Ansu Fati to Joao Pedro, and what a goal from our Cam with a head, man. Wow, incredible. But then after that, we made a silly mistake that led to a goal from Phil Foden. And then we waited until the last minute of this game. And look what happened. Ansu Fati is giving us the win versus Manchester City. What a moment for this rebuild this goal can turn into be. We can win the Premier League already in the 3rd season, which is gonna be incredible. And of course, if you enjoyed so far this video, leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. But now, let's see where we're standing in the Premier League. And after 36 games, we're first, and we do have 2 points advantage to the second, Liverpool, and they played already 1 game more than us. So if we win versus Everton at their stadium, we're winning the Premier League. What a feeling, guys, but these boys deserve it. Look at the progression of some of our players, the attackers, the cherry of our team. Also Joao Pedro, what a progression. Gavi, Samuel Ricci, amazing midfielders. I am telling you, we're building something special at Brighton. Joao Pedro scored 33 goals this season and assisted 12 times. What a season so far for him. But look at also Ivan Ferguson, he scored 30 goals. Wow, what a team, man, we do have. But now we just need to win versus Everton to leave the Premier League. Come on, boys. And we waited only 4 minutes for Ivan Ferguson to give us the lead in that game. Let's go, boys. We're gonna win the Premier League. And after the goal of Ivan Ferguson, Joao Pedro added another one. And this was, of course, enough for us to win the Premier League with Brighton in the 3rd season. Wow, what a moment, but the rebuild is far away from over because we still do have the biggest aim so far, which is of course going to be the Champions League. But before we even think about the Champions League, we're in the final of the Europa League, and there we're gonna face Sevilla, the team that won this competition so many times. So come on, boys, we need to take revenge out of the previous year that we lost the final versus AC Milan. And even Ferguson cannot stop scoring goals after goals. What a moment for this young striker to score in an Europa League final. But shortly after that, we made another silly mistake in our defense that led to a goal from Sevilla. Come on, boys, how can we not hold a clean sheet versus them? After that, we received a corner, and you know how good we are at corners. What an amazing goal Ivan Ferguson scored to give us again the lead in that final. But again, man, Sevilla came back. I'm telling you, Sevilla wants to win this trophy. But we're not gonna give it up that easy. Look at Mitoma in the dying seconds of this game. He's giving us again the lead. And this time it was enough for us to win our first major European trophy, which is of course going to be the Europa League. Now the only missing piece of the puzzle is the Champions League, and we're going for it next season. In the 4th season, we received over 160 million to improve this squad, and probably the 2 weakest positions are Lamptey, our right back, and Pavlovic, our center back. And that's why we decided to sign such a versatile player that can play in the both position as a center back and as a right back. And this, of course, another Barcelona player, Jules Koundé. What an amazing trio we are creating here at Brighton. Jules Koundé, Pablo Gavi and Ansu Fati. Wow, what an amazing triangle this is going to be. And this is our group in the Champions League. Not that difficult in my opinion. We should destroy everyone on our road in this group. And we start to score goals for fun and destroy our opponents in the Champions League. We defeated Olympique Marseille, Celtic and also the other team in our group. But now everything depends who is gonna first of the last game versus Olympique Marseille. And we started really well by scoring this amazing goal. But then Olympique Marseille received a penalty and Diogo Costa couldn't manage to save it. And now we received a penalty. What a moment for João Pedro, who steps up and of course he managed to score, and this was enough for us to win our group. But it was a tough battle versus Olympique Marseille, who is gonna finish first. But thankfully we managed to win the group. And in the knockout rounds of the Champions League, we're gonna face Borussia Dortmund, and we started this game amazingly. Look at the goal that Mitoma managed to score versus them to give us the lead in the first leg. And then in the second leg, Ansu Fati destroyed them, and thanks to these two goals we managed to eliminate Borussia Dortmund. So now we're in the quarterfinals. Come on boys, we're getting closer and closer of winning the Champions League. In the quarterfinals we're gonna face Juventus, and luckily we received a penalty and João Pedro of course is gonna score it. And actually this was the only thing that happened in the both legs, and we managed to eliminate Juventus thanks to a penalty that João Pedro scored for us. Let's go boys. In the semi-final we're gonna face Inter, and the first leg is gonna be at their stadium, and we received a penalty very early in this game, and of course Lautaro Martinez is gonna score that penalty, but we responded very quickly after that. Ansu Fati, our superstar, what a goal he scored versus Inter. But sadly after that we made a silly mistake in our defense that led to another goal that Inter managed to score. And then of course we turned into our superstar striker Ivan Ferguson. An amazing attack that we managed to create, and he equalized in the 67th minute. But there were also bad news from this game. Look at it, Mitoma is gonna be out for the entire remaining season, so he can potentially miss also the Champions League final. This is a huge miss for us. But we're relying not only on Mitoma, we also do have Ansu Fati, and he delivers in the second leg versus Inter. And then they received another penalty, but this time Diogo Costa saved it and gave us the chance to play in the Champions League final. What a moment for Brighton. We're one game away of lifting the Champions League. Let's go boys, we can definitely do that. And with this team it's gonna be such a waste if we cannot win versus Paris Saint-Germain in the final. What a team we managed to create. Also Ivan Ferguson is having a sensational season. 35 goals he managed to score, but look at João Pedro, 31 goals and 21 assists, man. Wow, what a season from him. Of course, in the meantime, we managed to win the Premier League for a second consecutive time. What a moment for these Brighton fans, but now everything depends on the game versus Paris Saint-Germain. And we start to dominate in that game. Pablo Gavi gave us the lead in the 35th minute, but then after that we made a crucial mistake. Even Ferguson could have scored the second goal and put this game into the bed, but he missed it. But look what happened shortly after that. Brilliant attack decided this game. What a goal from Ansu Fati, and there is no way that Paris Saint-Germain can come back after that. And we won our first Champions League trophy with Brighton. What a feeling for all of you Brighton fans. I really hope you enjoyed this review. Of course, if so, leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. But now I'm out, and I wish you a great day. Bye bye!